Would you stop with the
Granny.
break my balls, Jay? I'm starting to eat. You don't want to eat? Get the hell out of here. Go wait in the car. You can answer.
I remember being in elementary school and saying, yo, when I'm 16, I'm going to strip. The only reason why is
Got the body
that I
for
was
it.
introduced to when I was younger. Not knowing.
Trying to get this right. She was in elementary school, said she was going to strip. Mom worked the pole. Dad was a bouncer. She was overexposed to schmorn vids. What is going on here?
Exactly what it was, but I was introduced to it younger.
It's about to be 2023. It's okay to date bigger, fatter women.
Wow. Those are some, you could feed a village, as Hillary used to say. Biggins, it is 2023, almost. It's okay to date the fatties. Now, why would you do that to your chest with the butterfly tattoos? You're already morbidly obese. That is so disturbing and off-putting.
If anybody got a problem with it, tell them to grow the up. You love who the you love, all right? Stop being ashamed.
Very true, so you don't have to lecture us about it. Either I'm into the big fatties who has the front pannis, who needs the deodorant, or I'm not. That's how it works, honey.
Just for yourself as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think you can do
I'm
this.
totally fine.
And you may be, but just in amongst public, and especially the entire...
So she's working her OnlyFans scene at a high school, right? And there's football kids playing. You know, she's got this little cheerleader outfit on. She's probably 23 years old. The coach's like, hey, bro, you just do this somewhere else. My kids aren't paying attention to what we're doing here.
Football team, I think maybe elsewhere.
Okay, I will try to find a different. You know what? There's no reason for you guys to tell me what to do because I am my own person. I'm taking pictures for Halloween. I'm actually a content creator. This is how I make money.
Okay.
And I have.
All right, so now she's flexing. She's like, listen, I'm a content creator, bro. I know you're trying to coach these kids. I'm at the high school, but this is important to my Schmonly fans. My Instagram, you know how it works, but this always ends poorly. Stand by.
Like so many followers on Instagram. You guys really don't want to mess with me.
A few moments later.
Lost my Instagram for posting about God. Romans 1:18 says
Yeah, she found religion all of a sudden, which is great. But, you know, sometimes the religious people who just find it are like the newly minted on the wagon non-drunks. They won't stop with it. They don't realize, okay, just a day ago, you weren't all godly. You were giving up the booty on OnlyFans with dog toys going up it. And so just slow down a little bit, Tiger.
The wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and wickedness.
Well, of course, like all zealots, now she's got to preach about it. She's got to preach to you how you're a bad person. There's got to be some temperance in this thing, but, she doesn't have the best history here. It's all documented, as we can see. Let's enjoy.
It set me free from that. I am not the old Rachel anymore, okay? When the sun sets you free, you are free indeed. It doesn't matter how dark your past is.
And I agree, but this stuff's never going away. So hopefully any aspiring OnlyFans models will see this and go, okay, it's not going away, ever. Whether it's OnlyFans, at least you're getting paid on OnlyFans. If you're on TikTok, you make nothing. You're just doing it because you're a lunatic. Bad call.
It doesn't matter what you have done.
Here's why starting an OnlyFans was the worst decision I made in my life.
Right.
Did not realize that I was literally selling parts of my soul and the money could have never made it worth it.
How can you not realize that? People are paying you to get naked and shove things in orifices that shouldn't go there. How do you not know? I mean, people aren't isolated anymore. They're not like, oh, I came from the backwoods in an Amish town. I didn't understand how this works. Everybody understands how it works. Now, I would be nice to her and say, okay, made a mistake, go forward, but let's get some mindfulness about you. Reality check, honey, because you don't have a good grasp on it.
I just wish that someone would have warned me and told me that I was going to be later experiencing PTSD from the trauma and the experiences that I was subjecting myself to.
She was doing it to herself on a camera in her bedroom. What trauma does she have? Yeah, she's got trauma because people are going to poke fun at her. If she tries to meet a decent man, they're going to see this and go, I don't know. No, I don't think I need this. There's 5 other ones stacked up deep. I don't need this hassle.
On a daily basis, did not know that I would later need to be in counseling. It brought me into way darker places than I ever could have imagined, and I never want to go back.
It's basically the biggest regret that I have.
All right, here's another adult film star. You know, it always starts off with OnlyFans, right? Then I do a modeling shoot. Next thing you know, in the Brazzer or whatever it is, Schmorn Mub, and it's all over. It never goes away.
I was working in the adult industry, and I wish I never did it, but it's served its purpose in my path of life, and here I am now. So
I love the hopium. It has served its purpose, and you're all over the internet forever. So people, ladies, men, everybody, think about this. Now, some stuff you can say it's childish, it was juvenile, but when there's 50 videos, check in the description about the Mia Khalifa or whatever her name is video, and you're getting railed by 6 dudes in the rear O-ring, right? You know, it's not a good look, no matter how you slice it.
I can only learn from it. But I think that it's important for people to know about why I did it and why other people should think twice about doing it.
I don't think it's important for other people to know. Now, if you were pimped out by your dad, and you want to talk about child abuse or something, but your reasons are you wanted to make money, you want to take the easy way, and you did this. I understand.
Because it's affected my life in a lot of different ways, mostly negative, and I wouldn't want to wish this type of...
What were the positive ways? I wonder. You said mostly negative, so that means there's something positive. You probably got a couple of kids from a few baby daddies that are scumbags.
Mental hardship on anyone. So I worked for a site called Facial Abuse, aka Face, and I get asked a lot about it.
Oh, so she was getting, from what I could hear there, the Tinder sauce in the face, and that was the whole site. And so you've got this vision, not of her bending over, let's say, but her face just getting fire hosed with, you know, the Sticky's Tinder sauce action. That's just, you can't get over that. You can't look away. Once you've seen it, you've seen it.
Why I decided to shoot that type of content and
shoot that type of content, if you follow me. Good play on words, honey.
Did I like it? And it's followed me throughout my career and my life, and it's something that is really frustrating that I continuously get associated with.
You got to stop with that. Frustrating. It just is what it is. Now, how would she look at it if she wasn't a schmorn star looking from the outside in? She'd go, wow, well, this person didn't have a lot of a moral compass. They didn't get it because it wasn't one video. It wasn't two. Let's just give you a pass on two. You're that stupid. You're a drug addict. Several videos on a website. Face Tinder sauce action. I mean, you know, you got to just own up to it and say, you know what, I was stupid. I made a terrible mistake. I was a mental patient. I had a weakness. I needed attention, something.
Because I wish more than anything that I never shot for that company. So I'm going to tell you why I did it and my experience in it. I wasn't really sure where I was going in my life.
She wishes she was shot for another company. I mean, it's now she's splitting hairs. Like, not that company. I want the facial, you know, Tinder sauce face action site. I wanted the anal express action site. I mean, what is this person?
Shot one amateur scene, and I was really unsure about working in the adult industry, but I was kind of at a point where I'm like, you know what? I got to make the most of it. And after a rough breakup, I decided to take the new opportunities that were presenting themselves to me.
So she's still not taking responsibility for this. After a rough breakup, this is my life, baby daddy issues, just say, I made a mistake, a terrible mistake. And hopefully I'll age out of it because I won't look the same as I did when I was getting the Tinder sauce splashed in my face. But it's all I can say. That's the bottom line here. There's no excuse.
And I decided to get back into the adult industry. So I had shot a second amateur scene with a company that was a normal company, nothing weird or rough, and it went well, and they liked me a lot. And then,
of course, they liked your fresh meat. You were young. Now you're probably 28. You're not fun. There's some other 20-year-old coming in. We'll call it the back door to take over your job.
I got asked if I wanted to shoot for face. And at the time, I was single and I was very curious about certain things with my sexuality.
There's still no excuse about this. You know better. It's being videotaped. If you want to get freaky, join one of these swingers clubs, do your freaky shit. But you're doing it on film. Just say, I made a mistake, and there is no excuse. Here are the reasons I recommend you get good mental health counseling. You know, maybe something happened to me as a wee one, it affected me. But ultimately, I made the mistake. I was a sober human that did it multiple dozens and hundreds of times.
I consider myself a very intense person, but I just wanted to feel that intensity. Like, I desired that. So when I got offered...
What is that intensity? Is it like when you really got to go to the bathroom and you really got to go and you can't? That intensity? Something in this case would be going up with intensity. I mean, these people.
I remember checking out the site with one of my best friends at the time. We were sitting...
Good friend.
At home at my parents' house, just in the basement, looking at all these terrible videos on these websites, and I'm just like, should I do this? And you know, he looked at me and he's like, can you do this? And I said, I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I feel like I could handle it, but do I really want to go down this path? And so I agreed to do it. And I knew what I was getting myself into when I walked into it. And I took a train.
If you know it, you were sober enough, right? You weren't inebriated, intoxicated. You got to say, what decision-making process? What happened here? How did I decide to be on the facial page of the internet? I mean...
to New Jersey, to Orange. Orange was the train stop from Penn Station.
Yeah,
and I got off and I was met at a Dunkin' Donuts by one of the owners. And he was nice to me. It wasn't anything...
Of course he was nice to you. He needs a sucker to come in so he can make $1 bazillion and pay you $1,000 a day to get used up on his website. I mean, come on.
Weird or alarming initially. And he took me to the studio, and it was in this cool building. I got upstairs and I signed all the paperwork, model.
Signed my life away so my image and likeness can be used forever. And now I'm bitter about it because I was too stupid. I just don't see how in this day and age you cannot see this as a bad idea. Now you could just say, I took a chance. The money was worth it to me at the time. I didn't think it would come out because I didn't understand how cell phones work. No, I mean, come on.
Release form, all that. And I filled out this form of my do's and don'ts. They asked me very specifically like what I was willing to do and what I wasn't. And I just remember looking at the list and it was pretty graphic, you know, and I knew it was going to be like that, but I just remember thinking like, oh.
I mean, she was sitting in the basement before some degenerate friend looking at the sites and all the videos. She knew exactly what was going on here. She just said, I had studied the website. I wondered if I could do it. I like the adrenaline rush. I have a mental defect in my brain that says I want danger.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And so I really only signed off certain things. Like, I don't want to get so in detail about everything of the scene, but
no, thank you.
I'll try to be basic about it, so people get a general idea without you having to go watch it. I don't even want anyone to support the companies that this is not what I want. And I meant to say this before, but there was this part of me, because I had been single, and prior to this I had gone through a really rough breakup with someone that I cared about, and I had hurt this person, and I almost felt this sense of guilt, like I needed to be punished. And in a sense, this scene was a form of punishment for me.
My Lord, this one's got some real skeletons in the closet. You know, so guys in there, single guys, if you met her, you knew her backstory, you saw this, you can't fix this used car here. This is damaged goods. I understand everyone deserves a chance, but you wouldn't go into it knowingly. Like if you met her and you had a talking relationship, became friends, and then you found out later, it's one thing. But knowing all this, would you do it? Hell no.
But for me to go to the extreme and to get on camera, knowing that this would be viewed by copious amounts of people that don't know me and that only see me in this way, it was the worst form of punishment I could have ever given myself.
It sounds like it. It is never going away. You're going to be PTA mom somewhere, and a friend's going to come up and say, hey, my son Johnny, I found this in his room on his phone. Is this you? Like a long time ago? Oh, yeah, it is me. There is no washing this away easy. There's no easy fix for this one.
Because it didn't just affect me in that moment, but it would continue to affect me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I bet.
So I thought about that during the scene. I thought about, is this the punishment that you needed?
This person's really sick. You hear this and you go, wow. So she didn't say, okay, I was a drug addict. Like I could sweep that one away a little bit easier. Like I was totally a drug addict. Heroin, I needed the fix. I was doing the stuff. I didn't hear any of that. I've studied this a little bit. Has severe daddy issues. You experts in the group, I know there's some psychologists, psychiatrists. What would the problem be here? Is there a fix?
And to this day, I understand why I did it, but I wish that I had thought twice about that. I wish that I had thought, you know, you could have exercised this form of...
Then why'd you do it? You said you wanted to make amends for the breakup or something? And the whole thing is weird. She'd be a self-harmer, and instead she gets on, like, shames herself permanently for time immemorial. She's going to be on this. And now this video.
Self-healing in a much different way.
Wow.
So I realized some of the mistakes that I made in my early 20s. So I have met a few good guys.
Well, I don't think the mistakes are anything like we just saw. We'll just kind of ease on out with this one. Mistakes aren't permanently documented in video, but your mistakes are small on some fringe website.
Guys that actually wanted to date me. And I was like, no, like, he's corny, like, no, he ain't got no swag, he ain't got that that I'm looking for, like, nah.
So if she feels bad, she can go, okay, I'm going to watch this weirdo guy's video, Odin's Man, on YouTube, and I didn't do Schmorn Mub, or I didn't do facial Tinder sauce action website.
Not my type, sorry, no thank you, not interested.
Nope.
So I went after what I thought was my type. You know, the guy with the little edge. You know, bad boy, got a little side to him,
right.
You know, tattoos and all of that good stuff. The interesting, mysterious guy. And I told y'all.
The question is, did he ask you to come to his building and sign this disclaimer for modeling? If he did, you didn't do it, you're lucky.
A lot about my toxic relationship. And man, after I went and took my ass over to where I thought the grass was greener on the other side.
Right.
Only thing that was on that side was herpes, trauma, abuse, and boy did I get dragged through the mud. These men treated me like shit, but they were fine though. They look good.
Well, I like the last gal. They treated her like shit, and that was the stuff coming out of her rear O-ring into her face, if you catch my drift here.
I used to love when other girls would be like, oh girl, that's your man, like he is fine, girl. Oh, meanwhile I was being treated like trash, literally trash.
Right.
So I went back and I looked at some of the profiles of some of the good guys that wanted me back.
Seems to be an epidemic of this with people who aren't mindful enough. Like they weren't raised with a man around to say, listen, let me sit down with you for 15 minutes, honey, explain how men work. See that bull over there? He's going to screw every cow in this pasture. That's how men think. Next case.
Back in the day, and guess what, y'all? They're all married now. All married.
Good work, honey.
And I'm single, left with trauma.